On February 14th, 2018, a former student of Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School opened fire on his former school. Beginning around 2:21 p.m., the shooting lasted for nearly an hour. This was a whole hour that school shooter Nicholas Cruz was able to go throughout the school on the loose, shooting. 17 people were injured and 17 were killed that day. Once a child enters the school building for the day, he or she leaves the protection of their parents and enters under the protection of the school. Educational institutions are obliged to protect their students at all times while they are on the grounds, regardless of physical or sexual abuse. How can this be, though, if teachers, coaches, administrators, staff, whatever it may be, are not armed? An incident like the Parkland shooting will happen easily if they're not. For nearly an hour, Cruz, likewise, and other shootings, they're able to wander through the school taking innocent lives as they please, leaving the teachers and students virtually defenseless. This would certainly not have been the case had a teacher, coach, or administrator been armed. There would have been a swift and quick end to the shooting, resulting in less lives being taken and less injured, perhaps none at all. Now, many argue that teachers in schools should not be armed, and it's understandable to see why one would say this. They have good reasoning, because in reality, it's not going to directly make the kids safer. You can't promise, you can't give 100% guarantee. However, having an armed teacher, staff, etc. greatly increases the chance of less lives being taken or none at all. Until the authorities arrive, the teacher and the students are left virtually defenseless. Since 1950, 98% of all shootings, not just school shootings, all shootings in the United States have happened in areas where law-abiding citizens are not allowed to carry firearms. 98% of those people were left defenseless. It's time to stop leaving our schools, our children, and our teachers defenseless. This is not to say that this is always the immediate option, that this is always the first thing that we should go to in taking someone's life. Yes, anything can happen. Divine intervention, anything, we never know. And rather, this shooting and taking someone's life should be a last option. It should be a last resort if possible. Numerous ways could be made for a way out, but we have to always be ready to protect our own. So, for example, there was a recent shooting in a church in Texas. Keith Thomas Kinnunen stood up in the West Freeway Church of Christ and began shooting, and was free to do so until an armed member of the church, Jack Wilson, stood up and fired a single headshot to stop the shooting. There's 240 people in that church service that day, and as a result of Jack Wilson's heroic efforts, only 2 people were killed that day. Makes you wonder what could have happened had no one been armed and had no one stopped that shooting. It's time to arm our teachers.